I just want to make reference to this given the fact we're going to be talking about UFC individuals, and I didn't have an opportunity to really talk about this. And of course, when I made my goofy end of the year list of everybody who passed away, this was one of those late additions, and somebody who definitely deserves his dues as to putting mixed martial arts on the map. Stephan Bonnar, man, passing away at 45. That is incredibly tough to hear. UFC Hall of Famer Stephan Bonnar died on Thursday. The promotion announced he was 45 years old. Thursday's relative in this whole thing, not like last Thursday, but, just adjust accordingly right at the end of December, okay? The UFC reported Bonnar, who has most notably fought Forrest Griffin in the finals of the first season of The Ultimate Fighter. One of those slugfests in UFC history. Like, I know they want to try to put over the Mauricio Shogun Rua and Dan Henderson fight. That was just sloppy back alley boxing that you would not be shocked to find play out behind your local watering hole. I watched that fight. I was not impressed by that fight, but everybody was like, "Oh, it's so great. They just stood and bang." There's a bunch of guys in their late 30s, just fucking throwing hands. It wasn't very good. As opposed to the original way back in the cut in 2005, okay? I've gone back, I've watched that fight right there. I didn't watch it at the time, okay? I was 15, I was probably, I don't know, doing some goofy-ass social studies homework or some shit like that when that stuff was going on. But it put Spike on the map, it put the UFC on the map, and Stephan Bonnar honestly never got his due. And I understand his career kind of sputtered and he just kind of had a middling career afterwards, but given all the good he did for the sport for that very fight right there, UFC should have afforded him a job for the rest of his life. Anyways, he died of presumed heart complications while at work. Skepticism up at just a little bit once again. Stephan Bonnar was one of the most important fighters to ever compete in the octagon, UFC president Dana White said in a statement. His fight with Forrest Griffin changed the sport forever, and he will never be forgotten. The fans loved him, related to him, and he's always gave them his best. He will be missed. Bonnar, who once didn't believe he would have a career as a UFC fighter, said everything changed after his fight with Griffin. Very much so. Oh, Kyle Kingsbury. Oh, okay. Almost overnight, I became like a celebrity. Everywhere I went, someone would recognize me, even in obscure places. During his career, the Indiana native battled future Hall of Famers Sugar Rashad Evans, Mark Coleman, Anderson Silva, Tito Ortiz, Forrest Griffin again, and one of the most anticipated and underwhelming rematches ever. He was also a notch on John Jones's belt as well. Like, he was around and he did so much. Bonnar finished his career with 15 wins in 24 fights, and he was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame in 2013. Yeah, and the UFC's Hall of Fame would do this weird thing where they would induct fights into a certain wing of their Hall of Fame. Fucking weird. I think, Bonnar Griffin 1 was the first one that was ever inducted into the Hall of Fame, justifiably so. We lost a legend, UFC commentator Joe Rogan said in a heartfelt post on Instagram, saying Bonnar will never be forgotten. Exactly, man. He is indelible to the sport. That is one of the most enduring images that's out there. Even though he lost the fight, it really doesn't much matter, man. That is as significant to the UFC as Joe Montana hitting Dwight Clark in the end zone or rather in the Super Bowl, or Joe Namath drunkenly hitting on Susie Colbert no, I'm joking, but Joe Namath guaranteeing Super Bowl III's victory. Like, that's one of those iconic images right there, and I would be doing a disservice to a sport that I loved and followed vociferously back in the cut if I didn't make mention to one of its founding pioneers unfortunately passing away. And another person who was instrumental to the success of the UFC, unfortunately not quite the best story to pop out on this one, but a lot of people were really blowing this the fuck out of the water if we're going to keep it a buck. UFC president Dana White apologizes for physical altercation with his wife. I would show you the footage, but YouTube has been ultra fucking gay lately. Get this one, okay? Over on my second channel, I did a video about the big ivermectin stuff, and there was a couple of different studies that came out, and I did my research. It was like an 8.5-minute long video. It had been struck, okay, way back, about a month or so ago, It got struck, it got reviewed, and then it's like, yeah, no, everything's all fine and good and dandy. But now, given the fact that it's 3 months old at this point in time, at the time of recording this morning, I got this note. It's like, oh my god, it's been flagged for medical misinformation. And I'm like, that's retarded. Why would you guys flag this one again? And I sent it off. It's like, okay, first of all, you guys already flagged this, and it's already been cleared. And of course, all of the proper sources were cited about this one. And then not even a half hour later, after I fired off the appeal, they came back. It's like, no, it violates the policy. So it's like, oh great, YouTube's being big fucking stupid now, so gotta really tighten up the coverage. So playing any video, and especially it's from TMZ, they own the trademark or the copyright on that one, and they are such cocks when it comes to that stuff. So you got to take my word for it, or you can search it out yourself. It just basically involves Dana White's wife drunkenly hitting him across the face, and then him coming with a slap that looks like that, okay? It's not even close. Like, he's firing at about 25% capacity just to try to straighten her out a little bit. Like, that's about the sound that it would have got, okay? If he, I can act it out a little bit, okay? If he was throwing a slap, it was an open hand slap. It wasn't no fucking bitch, where's my money, okay? It was just a slap like that, and she was going much more like that. So she was actually putting her arms into it, you know, like a fucking drunk bitch does, okay? If you guys have ever been out before and she's like, I want to go, and she just starts fucking throwing hands because she feels entitled, and him is like, oh wait bitch, oh fucking now it's time, ding ding ding, and then just, you know, just a little fucking wake up call. Back in the cut, that used to be fine, but no, it was caught on video footage. And here I was thinking, okay, I was under the impression that Dana White didn't drink at all. But New Year's Eve, I guess, is one of those days that he doesn't count on his sobriety calendar. The fuck is going on? UFC president Dana White issued a public apology Monday for a physical altercation between him and his wife that was captured on video during the New Year's Eve celebration in Cabo, Mexico. Video published by TMZ shows White, 53, and his wife Ann in a VIP area of a nightclub. Dana White can be seen in the video saying something to Ann White, at which point she slaps him in the face. And good on ESPN for reporting that, because I went through a bunch of different articles, ones that had the video embedded in there, but then at the same time wouldn't say that his wife also slapped him first, which I'm not advocating for dude to put, or for any man to put hands on a woman, okay? Like, don't be doing that stuff, okay? It never fucking ends well for you. Even if, like this couple right here, they come to an amicable solution between themselves, everybody's going to take it out of context, fucking blow it up, even though at the same time those disingenuous hacks on the other side would also try to say that men and women are they're exactly the same. There's no biological differences between men and women can do anything that men can do, and in fact Ronda Rousey would beat the fuck out of Floyd Mayweather. Back in the cut, I wanted that fight to happen so fucking bad, just to see all of those stupid assholes be like, well, she's actually like not a boxer, and then just try to rationalize their way out of it. Get fucked, you idiots. But no. Long story short, don't hit a woman. Then at the same time, in this situation, I know this sounds bad, but he fessed up to it. Nobody filed charges. It was one of those closed door arguments that ended up getting played out in public and resolved in private. You don't like to see people's dirty laundry being aired out like that, but that's unfortunately what you got to see right there. You've heard me say this over the years. This is Dana White's apology on the situation, which I don't know why he would be apologizing, or is this statement just characterized as an apology because this is between a man and his wife and has nothing to do with the public. You've heard me say this over the years. There's never, ever an excuse for a guy to put hands on a woman. Now, here I am on TMZ talking about it. White said, my wife and I have been married for almost 30 years. Oh, across that point in time, okay? If people are that close together, who hasn't been smacking each other around before? Normally, it's in bed, but, you know, hey, man, whatever. We've known each other since we were 12 years old. We've obviously been through some shit together. We've got 3 kids. This is one of those situations that's horrible. I'm embarrassed, but it's also one of those situations that right right now. We're more concerned about our kids. We have 3 kids, and obviously since the video popped up, we've shown the kids the video, and they're more focused on our family right now. I'm literally making no excuses for this thing at all. It's never happened before. I'm gonna call a little cap on that. Guys have definitely been throwing hands before. Like, let's just stop it. It's the first time it's ever happened. People are gonna say what they're going to say, and it is what it is. Whatever people say is deserved. I deserve it. Doesn't really sound like that much of a problem between the couple, but nor would I consider that to be an apology. It's just more or less a clarification on the situation. Listen, this is a family matter. We're going to deal with it as a family. Everybody else, go to hell. Ann White also said, it was an isolated incident. Dana and I have been married for 30 years. Did she have to provide this statement under duress? Oh my God, he's got a gun off camera. No, this is what happens. Relationships from back in the day, some 30 years ago, they were just built different, okay? Because now, if you find yourself in this situation, you guys have only been together for a couple of years, and a woman had an opportunity at the spotlight right now, even if she's totally justified in breaking off the situation because, you know, hey man, she got slapped at the end of the day. Fucking tough. I'm not making excuses for it. Dana's not making excuses for it. It's already done and dusted. It is settled shit that went down. We'd definitely be taking the bag and then just trying to, you know, dunk on this guy's name and ruin his fucking career like many a hack out there are going to right now. Okay, I've seen Guardian articles. What? We should image the we should imagine the UFC without Dana White on it. Okay, if you want to take a look at what the UFC would be like without Dana White, take a look at the NFL, MLB, NBA, all of them. Take a look at what they're doing right now. Absolutely nothing. Fucking whittling away their audience. During 2020, there was one sports organization that turned a fucking profit. There is one professional sports organization that has continued to been profitable and attract more eyeballs year after year after year after year, and that is the UFC with Dana White at the helm. Without Dana White, there is no popularity of the UFC, especially in today's day and age, post all of their big stars. But let's see what his wife said in this situation. Does she take any responsibility for her actions? Dana and I have been married for almost 30 years. To say this is out of character for him is an understatement. Nothing like this has ever happened before. Unfortunately, we were both drinking too much on New Year's Eve and things got out of control on both sides, sort of. We've talked this through as a family and apologized to each other. Okay, I just hope people will respect our privacy for the sake of our kids. Yeah, not bad. But again, this is a family matter that played out in public. It's just one of the biggest UFC stories that's going around right now. That in tandem with, if you guys remember, like I said, I'm an old school UFC fan. I know where I stopped. Okay, stopped caring mostly at the rise of Conor McGregor, even though it's like, oh, shouldn't you see yourself in him? You're part Irish and he's fully Irish. And it's like, I don't give a fuck, man. These little mouthy fucks that aren't even that good inside the confines of the cage. I don't really give that much of a shit. And plus, it was taking up way too much fucking time. Too much content and oversaturation of the market. But hey, it's working out for the UFC. I just couldn't be fucking bothered at this point in time. But I remember Phil Baroni. He was quite the fucking unit inside the cage, and apparently he's quite the menace outside of it. Former UFC fighter Phil Baroni charged in death of girlfriend. Ooh, that's not good, man. That's a serious charge. But there's some caveats, okay? Former UFC fighter Phil, what the fuck was his nickname? They better reference it in there, otherwise I'm gonna have to look it up, because he was a fucking menace, okay? I think he got blackballed from the UFC because he was just trying to big dog Dana White, and he's like, oh yeah, fucking try me, bro. Allegedly beat his girlfriend to death in Mexico. Holy! I didn't see that before, but fuck, if he beat her to death, Jesus fucking Christ, that's another level of menace right there. On Sunday, after she admitted to sleeping with another man. Oh my God. Why? No, don't. In 2023, here's another one of the things that I want to do. I want to try to bring healthy information out there for guys paying attention to this type of content, give them a better perspective on dating and relationships in today's day and age. Your girl, you should never love your girl so much that you would beat her to death because you found out that she was fucking around with somebody else. Those telltale signs were already there, bro, okay? Just because she fucked somebody else doesn't mean that was the first act of infidelity, okay? She was already punched out of that relationship a long fucking time ago. The moment that she started entertaining any suitors, she's already cheated on you, and guess what? You just hold the fucking L and you continue to move on. You don't get so tied up in this shit. Oh, she's the only one for me. No, no. That's some bitch shit. And that's the stuff that ends up catching you a fucking case and then spending the rest of your life inside of a cage. Not in a fun way like how you used to make money, but no, no, no. Inside of the one where they don't give a fuck about weight classes. Baroni was arrested after he reportedly threw the woman into the shower in a fit of rage, causing her to suffer a fatal head injury. Okay, well, that seems a little bit... It seems a little bit less severe than just mounting her and fucking ground and pounding her. Officers later found her naked on a bed inside the hotel room. They threw her into the shower and then tucked her into bed. Like, what are we doing here? Pro Fighter reportedly told cops that the couple had gotten into a heated dispute inside the hotel room in San Pancho after his girlfriend, identified only as Paola, admitted she cheated on him. The reports said. Man, understand that you need to be a complete and total package in today's day and age, okay? Just because, you know, you used to look like this and that you still got a fucking ripped physique, even though I don't trust anybody with big fucking bushy beards, that's always just a clear-cut sign of, you know, there's some sus shit going on in the shadows. But if you don't have everything in place together, you can't positively answer your woman's hypergamous question. Don't be surprised if she breaks off the relationship. Just saying. 46-year-old New York native, who cops believe was under the influence of marijuana and alcohol. And another thing, too, give up your sedations, okay, because they're only going to cause problems. He was drunk, he was high, he threw his girlfriend around, ended up fucking killing her. Now he's catching a case and going to spend the rest of his life in a Mexican jail. Congratulations! You fucked up about as bad as you possibly could. Told authorities that he then ordered Paola to go bathe, and when she refused, he threw her into the shower, the report said. He hit her head and slipped, and then hit her head again when she fell down, he claimed, according to the report. Former fighter said that he helped her up and into bed and took off her clothes and covered her with a sheet after she told him she was cold. Yeah, I don't really know about this. Doesn't really seem to be lining up on this. Baroni claims Paola then asked him to get her cigars and beer, and when she returned, she wouldn't wake up. Yeah, it sounds like you're adding a little bit too much extra on top of this. I personally don't buy it, but innocent until proven guilty. Just saying. He then ran to grab police who were outside the hotel and told him his girlfriend was unresponsive. Police then found Baroni's girlfriend, a Mexico City native, naked in the bed, showing multiple signs of beatings as well as no vital signs. Multiple signs of beatings. Yeah, there you go. If she would have just hit her head twice, there wouldn't have been multiple signs. I'm just saying. Full investigation into the incident began following Baroni's arrest for homicide. He's being held in custody at Valle de Banderas. So yeah, the New York badass has now become the Mexico City badass, but he's going to figure out real quickly who the real badasses down there are. That was his nickname, by the way. I thought it was far more complex than that, so... UFC's had about a rough month now. Hopefully they can turn it around because I still got faith in the organization. Even though I'm not a fan, I don't engage with the product anymore. I think that they're probably doing the best of the professional sports organizations that are out there. And given the fact that the media is constantly trying to take them down at every given opportunity, I like to root me for an underdog every once in a while. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.